Hey folks, Jonathan here. Okay, if you're watching this now, you've probably already watched the other video, which I haven't made yet. And the other video is going to be of this engine running. This is my Trek engine. We're going to make this where this thing will run without the spark plug, without the wire on it. We're still going to have fire through the wire though, and without the carburetor. And I've seen part of this done before, and I may make it where we put a plug in the exhaust while it's running too. And this is sort of, it's just a trick, and I've seen some engines with the spark plug done like that, and I actually seen one with the carburetor done like that. But we're gonna show you how we're gonna do it. I'm not sure how they do it because no one's ever really revealed this that I know of, and but you know, it's all a mechanical thing. It's no magic, so I've got nothing to hide. And but what we're planning to do, and I'm going to explain it to you here. Now we may have to make changes along the way, but what we're planning, I'm going to take and cap the bottom side of that spark plug hole, and we'll have to hide it somehow so you can't tell that the spark plug either is not screwed in all the way, or maybe cut the end of the plug off because we're not going to use it anyway. But we're going to fake it, so we're not, that hole is just going to be there, or be capped off, but the top part of it will still be there, and that's just going to be to hold the spark plug and make it look like it's, you know, still a spark plug engine, even though it's not going to be. Okay, how we plan to do this. Pull this cover off here. Bear with me. Okay, what we're going to do is take on this wire, we're going to tee it off, and we're going to run a piece of copper through 2 head gaskets. Now I'm going to make paper gaskets because we don't have to have this running that long, just long enough to fool you. And we'll actually run the copper through between the 2 head gaskets and get it in close enough where it will arc off to the top of the head, and that will take care of our firing without the spark plug. Now it'll still have power on this wire, so when I pull this wire off, I'll be able to pull it off, take the plug out, and still jump a spark with this wire, even though it's going to be teeing off from down here. Okay, that's number one. Okay, the other thing we're going to do, we got the intake port. You can see the valve in there if you look. I'm going to build a venturi to go in this port, and hopefully you won't notice it on the video, but if you did, good enough for you. But we're going to build a venturi and drill a small hole through it. We're probably going to start out about 1/8 inch, and because what we want this engine to do is idle. We don't want to rev it up, and we're not going to rev it up. And then we will go through the side right here, and as close to that venturi as we can get. And I'm going to put a T valve in there, or a T, I guess it'll be copper or brass. And then what I'm going to do is put a jet in it, or sort of drill it out like a jet. We'll have it tube protruding through, and to where the end of the tube is right just with that hole for the venturi, and that'll create our vacuum to pour our fuel through. But on one end of the T will be a needle valve, and coming in the T from the side will be the fuel line. And we're going to run a small fuel line, and we are going to actually, we'll take this governor fan off, or what's left of the governor fan. I've done taking part of it off. We'll take it off, and I'm going to build a small gas tank, probably out of copper, to actually go up inside here, and we will cut this piece out. It's a air diverter, I'm assuming, but we'll cut that piece out. We're going to mount a little tiny gas tank up inside of here, and once we mount the tank up in, we'll hook it in. I'm hoping I can it will pull out the top of the tank, so I'll run the line in the top. I think it's going to be close enough. I'm not going to have to run a check valve in the line. May have to, but may not. We'll see. But I'm going to fine tune this and get it to where it'll idle, and should be able to shut it off, start it back up, you know, everything we need to do. And then on our exhaust, we're going to find a place somewhere where you're not going to be able to see it on camera. I think maybe we'll come up through at an angle here under this intake and drill a hole into the exhaust port. Now at low idle, this engine won't take much don't need much exhaust, and you know, our intake hole for our Venturi, I'm guessing at this time going to be about an 1/8 inch. It may be bigger by the time we're done, may be smaller. But we will drill a hole up through there, and so when we screw this plug in, all it's going to do is divert the exhaust out a different spot. Hopefully this engine won't smoke bad. If it don't smoke, that'll be all the better. You won't be able to see it. But I'll have the exhaust pipe on it, and I'll be able to unscrew that and put the plug in it. But just a couple of little tricks here, and you know, besides that, it's a bone stock engine, and just one I found. I actually bought an old junk school bus, and this was on an old diaphragm pump inside of it. But no magic. It's just a couple mechanical tricks. I mean, that's all it is. But you know, a hit and miss engine, if you know, runs off of a fuel mixer, not a carburetor. So we're going to run it the same way. The only problem is we can't govern it with a governor like a hit and miss, you know, or we can't govern it with a throttle valve, you know, or a butterfly, which is what throttles an engine, and you know, keeps it from over revving. So we're going to try to control it with the fuel and air coming in through the Venturi, and you know, it's easily possible. It's just, you know, it's not something you can just jump in there and do and automatically know, you know, how much vacuum you're going to create, and you know, CFM hole, you know, how much air you need, and it's just something that you have to play with. So I'm going to play with this. I think that you know, you'll enjoy this. Enjoy knowing how it's done anyway. But hopefully you enjoyed the video that I haven't made yet of this thing running. And like I said, this is a little backwards from what I usually do, because I usually show the build first. But I think you'll enjoy it. But I'll keep you updated as I build it here, and then if you know, something you want to do yourself, you always be able to do it. Bye.